Hey, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing out there in YouTube world? Well, you know, I hope everybody is doing really, really good. Okay, and if you're not, like I said before, keep your head up. I know things come up and we get hit with surprise attacks, but remember, you're a child of God. Remember, you have a strong tower of protection. You just got to make sure that when these tests come and they start smacking you around and giving you headshots and rib shots, that you put your guard up and you endure them, and then you endure them, and then you start fighting back spiritually, of course, and and you'll make it through. Okay, I'm Frantz. Welcome to the Ambassador. Now, today, the subject is a subject that we need to talk about because a lot of us are not really seeing what's being planted in the hearts and minds of our children as we stay a part of the world system. See, let me tell you something. Hold on, let me bring this screen down just a little bit. So, yeah, um, a part of this world system. Okay, saints, you got to separate from the world system, especially in these end times. Okay, you got to really recognize that. You got to really recognize that wickedness is running the world, which means wickedness is running what your children are being taught all over TV, all in school, all in the media. Yeah. I mean, they really want to shape the mind of the children. So you got to protect yours, saints, because you know what the end time prophecies predict. Okay. Now, this means that you have to make a decision as a mom and a dad. Okay. This is why it's so important now. No knock on anybody who's a single mom, because in the kingdom, our goal is to make sure our women are married, because we know what the prophecy says, and we know the duty of the man and the duty of the woman. We know that these duties are preparing us for the end times. So for us, it's about trying to get a mate. That's why I don't knock those folks, because circumstances happen, and women and children and fathers, are left in shambles, especially in a world geared towards destroying the traditional family. So, with us as saints, those who pursue holiness and righteousness, we have to be mindful of what's being fed to our children. This means we have to decide that, okay, we know the end times are here. We know that this is showing, this is appearing, and teachers are teaching this now. This now, and the education system has become so liberal. You have to decide what you are going to do as a child of God who is chasing holiness and righteousness. You feel me? You have to decide if you're going to keep your kids in public school. I'm serious, y'all. Now this means that you may have to cut back on some things. You may have to downsize. This means that you may have to move out of the city into the country, and start there. You know what I mean? Start over there. You know, separate yourself and your family and your kids from the influence of the world and the world's systems. You know, right? You have to make a hard choice. We all have to make that choice. Because we know that the scriptures say that at some point at the end times we're going to have to head to the hills. Right? But you don't want to head to the hills with people who are infested with worldly ideology, and including that includes yourself, that includes your husband, your wife, that includes your kids, anybody that's gonna be around you. If you got to head to the hill, you know what I'm saying. You got to be willing to, you know, separate from those traits. You don't want to take those where you're going. You know, so think about that, y'all. You don't want your kids are being taught a lot of things, and that's why your children are turning against the household. That's why your children are turning against holiness and God, because they're being taught the ways of the world, and they're being influenced not just by the teachers, but by the students. Everybody willing to go along. You know what I'm saying? Nobody want to question anything. Just everybody be happy go lucky. But lucky. But they don't understand there's a natural order of things. And it's not just for human beings. There's a natural order of things for even animals, even insects. Everything has a natural order. Okay, so saints, you better wake up. You better wake up, because all those traits talked about in First Timothy. I think it's what, chapter 3. Talk, is it chapter 3? Hold on. 3. Yeah. Yeah. All those traits talked about in 1 Timothy chapter 3, that's being taught in the school system. The reason your children are going to turn against you, families going to be divided and broken up, is because these children are being taught to be loyal to the state, to the schools, to the teachers, and go against you, parents, you saved parents, with conservative values. Better wake up. Wake up. Because everything about the world is about introducing Lucifer's traits into your heart and mind. And if they can get into your children early, it's harder to break that. And Lucifer will have a tighter bond and tie that binds to them. So you have to get your children out of that influence. Homeschool, saints. Don't tell me we can't afford it or blah, blah, blah. I don't want to hear no excuses. We're talking about the same God, the same holiness that saved Israel. Remember 10 plagues? Especially that last one, death coming through. And if you didn't have the blood on the door, we have the blood over us. Nothing in this world can harm us. Nothing in this world can stop us from being holy. Nothing in this world can stop us from living holiness separated from the world. Because holiness and supernatural holiness, which is above, will make it happen for you. It depends on your faith. Do you have holy faith, or do you have, the definition of faith, but the talk of faith, but not the walk of faith? You know what I mean? Anything we ask the Holy Kingdom for, if it's geared towards being holy, if it's geared towards achieving something holy, it's going to happen. If it's geared towards being obedient to the kingdom, it's going to happen. So don't give me no excuses about we don't have enough money, or we're in this situation, or we're in debt, blah, blah, blah. A lot of things. This is the condition of the world. But you're a child of God. Your faith will say something different. So no matter what conditions going on in your life, put your faith in holy faith in the kingdom, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen. You'll look up one day and you'll have the opportunity to pull your kids out of those schools and homeschool them. And when you homeschool, don't just be sitting there just watching TV and let your kids watch TV. And no, you homeschool. Okay? Since they're at home, they got stuff they got to do on the computer for schooling, right? Do that. But at the same time, you need to be teaching them the book of Proverbs. You need to be requiring that that's reading for them. That's extracurricular reading for them. Let them read that. Sit down and talk about the traits of holiness and righteousness. Teach them. Teach them what most of the scriptures, most of the chapters in the book of Proverbs does in the beginning. And that tells you how important these lessons are. That's what Proverbs does. It tells you how important these lessons are when it comes to holiness and righteousness. That book, the book of Proverbs, tells you it's a book of instructions. And it tells you in almost in the beginning of every chapter how important these instructions, teachings, and lessons are. You got to teach your kids that. You got to teach them the difference between what the kingdom of heaven says is righteous and the kingdom of heaven, and what the kingdom of heaven says is wicked. Okay? You got to do that. You got to teach them the traits of holiness. You do, as parents. So that when you teach them these things and they go out into the world, they'll remember what the world looks like in the eyes of holiness. You got to teach that. But you cannot allow your children to be sitting up in these institutions of indoctrination and turning your children into the serpent seed, to the seed of Cain. You can't sit back and watch from the sidelines, saints. You got to play defense too. Okay? You got to play offense too. You got to play the whole game. Okay? You got to be in the whole game. You got to play. You got to ref. You got to look from the sidelines, seeing what's going on with your kids. So wake up. Stop putting faith and trust or doubt in your money, in your savings, in your job. Put your faith and trust in the kingdom of heaven. I know it sounds strange because I'm telling you to trust in something supernatural, something invisible. It's always been in existence. Okay? Stop looking at Jesus, aka Yeshua, as a human being. He was only on earth for 33 years. That was his purpose, only to come so that the Holy Spirit can come and the Holy Spirit can have, and we can have the Holy Spirit guide us to the road that's straight and narrow, because no man can guide you to that road, only the Holy Spirit of God. So stop it with the excuses and just tap into real holy faith. Okay? Straight up. On the top of this page of mine, you'll find some things you can click on. I have some books I've written. They're on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. Go check them out, because my ministry is not about the entire Bible. My ministry is about holiness and righteousness. My ministry is about telling you that there are certain things that has to be found inside your heart in order for you to get through the gates of heaven, third heaven. You just, no unrighteous person is going into there, and no unrighteous tricks are getting into the kingdom of heaven. I mean, you have to be 100% in as a child of God in doing things the way the kingdom says you have to do it. 100%. Because 99% won't even work. 99.9% will not even work. You will go to hell on 99.9%. You got to be 100%, y'all. 100%. Okay? So go protect your children's minds. You already know what the liberal school system is teaching them. You know what they're trying to get them to adapt to. You got to pull your kids out early, saints. Just like preparing for prophecy, you got to do that early. You just can't wait to look up and see that there are no more lights in America, or and all of a sudden you want to go prepare. You've been given the prophecies to prepare for them before they actually come. If you know that us as children of God are going to be locked out the beast system, then you need to prepare. You need to be preparing an exit from the system, so you can start getting used to a life of self-sustaining. Growing your own food, learning how to purify water, learning how to grow plants, medicinal plants for medicinal use, right? You got to start learning these things. Start learning how to, build shelters out of the weather. If you're caught in the woods or caught in the, use the things in the woods to build shelter. You got to start learning different things. We got to start preparing. The prophecies are amongst us. We're seeing a lot of them, but we've been given time to prepare. This is the time. Stop using your resources to buy material things. Stop using your resources to upgrade your house when your house is fine. Maybe even sell your house and move to the country. Stop using your material resources to go support worldly people and go to worldly concerts and do things like that. You know what I'm saying? We don't support those people. Those people are of the world. We don't do that. And start recognizing that Christianity, the word Christianity, and the name Jesus is being used to deceive people. Once saved, always saved is not real. You have to live a holy, righteous life. You have to transfer from the carnal mind to the spiritual mind. You got to protect your children. The younger they are, the more vulnerable they are. Get them out of schools. It's ridiculous that I have to even tell this to people who are children of God. This is ridiculous that I have to even tell you fathers this, you mothers this. If you are studying the scriptures, you know that the entire system belongs to Lucifer. And we are in the days, the last days, the age of Aquarius, the age of the reign of Lucifer. He gets to get his worship. And you Christians, you people who claim to be children of God, siblings to Yeshua and children to Father Yahweh, y'all have to recognize that the system is corrupt and is screwing over your family and your kids. Do not let this system transform your children's minds into the image of Lucifer's mind. You have to get them out. You have to be responsible. And if things are real hard, start slimming down. cut down on things. Start downsizing. Stop eating so much. Discipline your stomach. Stop eating so much television. Discipline your eyes. Stop listening to so much garbage. Discipline your ears. You're holy children now. Remember, your body don't belong to you. Not anymore. Nothing about you belongs to you now. Everything about you belongs to the kingdom of third heaven. So stop acting like it. And that means your faith also. Stop walking in doubt. Stop walking, I don't know. And all of a sudden you get a bill and this comes and that comes and it knocks you off your faith. There's nothing on this earth more powerful than holy faith. The type of faith Moses had, the type of faith King Hezekiah had, the type of faith Daniel had, the type of faith Esther had, the type of faith Deborah had, the type of faith Abraham had, the type of faith Job had. You know, we suffer a lot in this life because we choose holiness, but we always win in the end. Even in death, we win. Don't let your children die spiritually alive because you let a system that belongs to Lucifer indoctrinate their mind and their heart. It is up to you, and you will be responsible. So stop saying, "Well, when they get 18, they when they get 18, they they make their own decision." Y'all always say that, but you are the one that seeded that wickedness in them. You're the one that seeded that wickedness in them because you didn't teach them nothing about holiness and righteousness when they were kids. So if you have young kids, get them out of the school system, saints, and start teaching them basic holiness and righteousness. So those are the things that are seated in their heart so that when they go into the world, they can see the difference. All right? So then they can make a real good decision when it comes to that crossroad they will come to in their life as they get older and experience more and more of what the world really has for them. If you seed holiness and righteousness in their heart, they are not going to depart because when you really know what holiness and righteousness is, the dark is disgusting to you. It makes you want to just, um, you know, the world, it becomes very disgusting because you start seeing it for what it really is. And it's nothing but the destroyer of souls. That's what the world is. The world is nothing but the destroyer of souls. Anyway, protect your kids. I love y'all. Be cool and don't get mad at me for telling y'all the truth. Don't get mad at me for telling y'all the truth. Don't get mad because I'm just trying to help you. Okay? I'm just trying to help you. I'm not judging you. I'm just trying to help you because your soul is more valuable than anything you ever had or have. Just like wisdom. More precious than silver, gold, and rubies. Anything valuable on the earth. Nothing valuable. Nothing on the earth is more valuable than wisdom, your soul, holy instruction, you know what I'm saying? And holy understanding. Nothing's more important than that. All right? And holy faith. I love y'all. Protect your kids. Protect your kids.